Hey everyone, this is Dr. Walker. Let's do an example from video 500 on unit vectors. In this example, we are given a position vector, r equals 3i plus 3j, and we want to find the magnitude of the unit vector. So we can go ahead and visualize this if we would like. Remember that the I hat vector specifies a vector along the x direction. So it's going 3 units in the x direction and then 3 units in the y direction. So this is the r vector that we are given here that has 3 in the x and 3 in the y. Now, technically, we already know the answer to this problem. We know that all unit vectors have a magnitude equal to 1 by definition. But the purpose of this problem is to remind us and let us practice on how to solve for unit vectors. So what we learned in video 500 is that to find a unit vector, we need the vector divided by its magnitude. So let's find the magnitude of vector r, which we can also write as the absolute value of the vector r here. Well, we know that the magnitude of vector r is just this hypotenuse of this triangle, and that we have to use the Pythagorean theorem. So the magnitude is just going to be the x component, call this ax, call this ay, right, because this is the x and y axis. So it's just going to be square root of ax squared plus ay squared. So it's going to be the square root of 3 squared plus 3 squared. That's going to give us about 4.24. So now that we have the magnitude of the vector and we were given the vector itself, now we can find the unit vector. The unit vector is going to be 3i hat plus 3j hat, the vector itself, divided by its magnitude, which is 4.24. Now we could divide each number by 4.24 and rewrite it that way. But what we're looking for here is the magnitude of the unit vector. Right, what is the magnitude of this vector? Well, to find the magnitude, we know that we have to use the Pythagorean theorem. The x component, let me go ahead and rewrite it. Right, the x component is 3 over 4.24, and all of that is in the x direction, and then 3 over 4.24 in the y direction, so j hats. So to find the magnitude of the unit vector, we're going to do ax squared. This is ax, right? Whatever is in front of I is always ax. Whatever is in front of j is always ay. So we're going to do 3 over 4.24 squared plus the same thing for the y component squared, 3 over 4.24 squared. And if you put this in a calculator without any rounding errors, you will definitely get 1. So the magnitude of a unit vector is always 1, but to find the unit vector itself, we divide the vector by its magnitude.